Ladies, gentlemen, it is that time again to talk about the history in the making. Last night I hinted that I was going to drag myself through the horrible tragedy. I think this was probably like the last time I'm going to do this because you'll find out in the end of the summary of this video. But like to surmise, it's more or less a waste of time. We have seen like the full circle of this. Like in the beginning, there are a bunch of people coming into these countries trying to, most likely find a better life, or so we thought. And they're slowly pushing this propaganda on us. The communists are pushing this propaganda on us. These you know, anti-human, basically homosexual, pro like abortion, like one child policy, like youth what's it called again? Not euthanasia. It's called there's a term for it. It's just like, you're into this whole genetic type thing where you have to have genes looking a certain way and whatever. Fuck, I forget the name of it off the top of my head right now because of all the things that's happening in the world right now. Like Russia has the back of Iran, and the gas prices apparently are going up. Like these losers are just dragging their heels, and I bring them only as like a brief aside because we gotta talk about this rehab room. Forget about world politics, man. You gotta talk about this rehab room video. Trust me, it's more important. Trust me, it's going somewhere. You're gonna learn something about this rehab room video. So to give you a little bit of history, I started watching Rehab Room back in the day when he was branded Incel TV in the Wild Wild West internet where everything goes. Like you'd have like reruns of TCAP to Catch a Predator. You have people trying to do their own thing. Like you have like I remember I saw this one that was like a ghetto ass version of To Catch a Predator. He goes into this apartment. This guy just like whoops his ass. He's like, "What are you doing here? Huh? You trying to mess with some little kid?" He just like starts hitting him. Yeah, and I think like some of the newer like ones are like picking up that trend. But it was just like one of those old ones. This like old ass grimy apartment. It's like you know what I mean, right? Like you don't necessarily like care too much. You don't have like mercy for it, but it's like it's pretty brutal. Like like you couldn't even blur this shit out. Oh. So we gotta talk about before I talk about this rehab room video. The death, or at least they're reporting on it. The reported death of the Ayatollah. Now it could come out that he's still alive, and he's like, I'm still here. I'm like a cockroach. You'll never get rid of me. So I'm willing to just like I'm not doubting it. I'm just like I'd rather just wait a while and see if it's like confirmed and like further because it's just like so early. Like how are you gonna tell me that after like okay I understand Maduro, right, and the Venezuelan army, he was just like starving out his people. You could see that one time he was just like eating that steak from Chef Bay. That guy's such a loser. I mean they both are. Well, how are you going to be serving a big dictator who's like starving out his own people, and like you're there in his country, and you get to see that shit firsthand. Like you get to see like the upper class and like all these like cartelos and all these guys who are just fucking over their own people, and then you have all like the regular citizens. They gotta like jack up a fucking zoo for food. Fuck Maduro, man. You're gonna go to his country and like cook for him and shit. But like, it's not like Maduro where like, he's just like some like douchebag. Nah, like the Ayatollah is a guy who has his head up his ass, so like he's most likely a little harder to get to unless he had spies, which most likely that was the thing. And they're just waiting for the right time. Like again, like a lot of people are speculating whether or not Israel and subsequently America and Western interests had a hand in the whole protests. And to that I say good, because look, we have to understand that those people living under the rule of these, fanatics significantly made their lives worse. You have so many femicides. Like, it's gonna come out after this conflict, like the amount of women that were killed. It's like, why would you even bother listening to feminists or like, special interest groups or people crying out for like, oh, these Palestinians or all these other Middle Eastern children, they need your money, and you obviously know it's like dirty ass money that you're gonna take to like give to terrorists and shit. So you're like, why bother? Their selective outrages just showed you like their hypocrisy is like woefully apparent. Like what happened to Sudan again? I hear Bella Hadid and like somebody else is like doing some sort of charity to like bring all that and Palestine. So take that with a grain of salt, right? But at least she's trying to do something to help those people out. Most celebrities don't even give a fuck about Sudan, dude. It's like the woefully apparent truth that like most celebrities don't care about black people. They don't care about like conflicts in Africa. They don't care about the you know thousands of Nigerians killed, Christians just persecuted for their religions and shit, watching their churches burn down, their women get kidnapped and killed and shit. Like the most brutal ass shit, and just nobody gives a fuck. And now it's like come to this, and it's like, where the fuck is everybody? You know what I mean? Like, Israel and USA are throwing down. Supposedly, the Ayatollah is dead. Fingers crossed, right? Like, let's hope. Let's hope. Okay, let's hope the Persian people and Javid. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think he actually wants to call his country Iran. I think it was called Iran back in the day, and like, yeah, he was the Prince of Iran, but like, Persia was like the old name. But like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the Prince of Iran, right? Javid Shah, and he's like, yo, this is the now. It's now or never. Like, my people, like, let's do this and shit. And people are like, yo, remember what I said? The Huffington Post and subsequently, I forget, it was Bloomberg or something, and they were writing those hit pieces on him. Remember these? There's no such thing as like a trustworthy press. Okay, people have died, have been tortured, their families have been humiliated. They had to like pay ransoms to get their deceased loved ones and stuff. Like unthinkable ass shit. Like you go to the hospital, you're like, oh fuck, I got shot, or I got like whatever, I got like sprayed or whatever, got hit by a car. You see some of these people get hit by cars and stuff. I shared a video on my Instagram about that. Obviously, like the person who was filming it, she just like couldn't handle it. Excuse me. She looked away and like you didn't see like the full extent of it, but you do see like the point of impact and like whatever. And I think like videos like that are important because you insulate yourself too much about who these people are and what they're really about. Like I think the thing was, and people don't want to like give Trump credit for this, is that there was no deal for Iran. There was no negotiations. It was more or less like you do what I tell you and you might be able to live, you and your children. And the thing about the IRGC, that's what they call themselves, Iranian neckbeard, women hating crew. The biggest irony of these tyrants is that they have their own kids, and unlike you know for whatever reason, their own kids, they don't have to wear hijabs. They can go live in countries and just be free, and yeah, that's it. Like that's their way of living and all that. But in Iran, you have to suppress these women, and if they don't do what you say, you physically accost them and you assault them and you rape them. And like one of the things that they say, right, and this is the brutal reality of the women in Iran. Why I said it's worse as a woman in Iran, even though like nobody has any special treatment from these like these neckbeard tyrants. Um, is that they have this belief where if you're a woman and you're a virgin, if you get raped before you die, you go to hell. You know, that's that kind of understanding, right? Where it's a good segue back into the whole rehab room video because 27 minutes of my life are pissed away, gone. I'm never gonna get it back, but I think I have the closure that I need to move on with my life. Like the perverse amount of enjoyment that I can get out of watching his videos is obsolete. There's no meaning in it anymore, and I've drawn like my conclusion. Whether, you agree with me or not is, debatable, but this is how I see it. So, rehab room, a lot like the IRGC, the neckbeard tyrants, the Middle Eastern tyrants, like all these people who are very controlling, but also at the mercy of, I guess, their perversions, their genetic abnormalities, whether they're inbred or like from like a young woman who conceived, so like they're developmentally um, they're not developed properly, like they have challenges, disabilities and stuff, right? Like whether it's that or even like the other one where actually I do think Rehab Room did say he was into as he phrased it, Jim Maxing. So most likely he could have, had extensive use of PEDs and then like altered his hormones and he's fucked, right? Where he accelerated his life, and then he got prematurely bald. At least that's how I see it, right? It's like they all want to be part of a world that does not need them anymore. When I see Clav and I see his antics with like all these kids, like first of all, when he's at that club, I forgot to mention like how young these people are. Like, oh my god, like nobody's balls have dropped. Like they're fucking teenage, like old enough to drink basically. Wait, no, it's America, right? In Canada it's 19, so over there maybe not. And like Clav is like fake smoking a cigarette. Classical. And then like what's his face? So in the video that he's like doing the assessment on, I was talking about this too, about how like Clav was just like stealing up this girl from this guy in a club or some shit like that. It was like a club for like kids. And then the guy's like, he's so pathetic and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you see, one of those memeable videos that like, you don't even know if like Clav put this guy up to it and gave him money to make him like, seem like the fall guy so he can make even more money. Because it's like, we're all adults. Like looking for this from the outside in, how the fuck would we know? But like, why would you care so much? And that's what I'm getting at. Like, holy fuck, dude, 20 goddamn 7 minutes devoted to talking about this one single ass topic, dog. This one single ass topic, talking about like looks passing this, talking about like, cringe that, how like the guy was just like brutal this, that, and like, yeah, that's just like his angle. The whole incel culture, incel TV, blah blah blah, right? Rehab room rebrand, right? But like, this is what I'm trying to get at is that it's that same kind of like absent-minded like awareness where these guys you're a little too hard on this like you care too much about this stuff, like a little too much, 20 goddamn 7 minutes talking about this brutal ass rejection from this guy going up in the club, talking about like how Sneeko is just like he was their like poster child in the beginning, and then when like I don't know, like they fell out or some shit like that. Like, he was just like disposable, and he sees Clav as the same thing. I'm like, well, why do you care? It's like I made it like, what was it? A 20 plus minute video yesterday. Was it 17 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever? It was pretty long actually. Talking about like, just how easy it is. It's so fucking easy. And you can imagine like some of these guys out there who are on fucking juice and shit, thinking that like, they can equalize, dog. They're like fucking peeling out, eh? Like the idea that their next rep is their last, and then, you know what I mean? Hairpiece. Some like Fernasticide, some like Just for Men. Yo, Hassan's finished, eh? He got no career after this. Like, yo, what the fuck, man? You got nobody, and you got no size. You got no peoples. I hear they're attacking like all these like Arab countries that like have just like um their attempt at first world like whatever's. I just see it as a place for them to wash money, real talk. But like hate aside, but they're just like attacking random people in these like Arab countries. Like not random people, most likely Jews or Americans or Westerners at large. You see military bases, you see airports. And like, here's the thing I fucking hate about the goddamn internet, because I'm like scrolling through Instagram watching this. It's like, yo, how much of this shit is AI? How much of it? I'm gonna check right now. How much of this is AI? Alright, how am I supposed to trust this? I feel the bottom line that Trump has betrayed the country according to Robert De Niro. Because, you gotta let the, Iranian people suffer under the hands of tyrants and just, like, sit on your ass like a fucking old ass, like, geezer. You fucking, decaying ass retard. Yeah, hurry the fuck up and, like, die. Oh, you man, when you get too old, eh? And I'm not just talking about him, I'm talking about you too, Rehab Room. What the fuck, eh? Like, what, 27 goddamn minutes talking about some next man's and shit? I'm like, thinking to myself, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong 100%, but like, is it really that, that much of a big of a deal? Nah, it's not. Here we go. So, as I scroll down the Instagram, we got Netanyahu said there are signs the Iran supreme leader is no longer with us. That actually sounds pretty credible, to be fair. It sounds like something a leader would say. You know what I say? Especially if I was the president of the United States of Canada. I feel like, oh, he dead. He dead. See, we go like the next one. The Truth Wire. Iran Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has been confirmed dead. Confirmed. Nice. Long live the people of Persia or Iran or wherever the fuck they want to call their country, man. I just hope that you see better days, and like because it's like I hear it's popping off with Pakistan and Afghanistan. What did I say, bro? What did I say, bro? I'm sounding like a fucking kid. Sorry about that. My esteemed channel viewers behind VPNs and stuff. I said in the past, the finger pointing was going to be like fucking second to none, dude. It's all their fault. Everyone just points the finger. I swear, yo, Pakistan so badly wants to be in America's good book because all it takes is Rupert Lowe to become the president. I mean, sorry, prime minister of UK, and then have a sit down with Trump just one time, just one time. You know what I mean? And every single Pakistani's gonna be sweating in their fucking unibrow and shit, their fucking neck beard is just like all greased out and stuff. They're fucking, oh my god, no, 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 don't put us on the no-fly zone, the fucking Muslim ban and shit. Dog, the reason why the Muslim ban, we talk about shit like that, is because we can't talk about places like Pakistan, Punjab, like these places with tons of people inside of them, like a population density of like close to approaching billion, like hundreds of millions of people, right? Like, cause it's like, yeah, Middle East has like millions of people, this that, right? But like, we're talking about progressive fucking progressive regression. You gotta talk about the spew, the onslaught of like stupidity that comes from, desired inbreeding, like the idea that like people want to be inbred and like they're proud of it. No, you shouldn't be proud of that. You should be shunned forever and ever and ever. Okay, now everybody, take care and remember. I don't know.